My name is Jeff Howard, and for my portion of the BM procedures for the Zoll M series defibrillator, I will be doing the ground leakage check, the chassis leakage check, lead leakage check, and the pace analyzer checks. Grounding resistance check should be less than 0.5 ohms. What we're checking here is from the ground point to here with a good connection. So we have 0.12 ohms. The next is the ground leakage check. That should be less than 300 microamps. So we have 118.1, 119 microamps. At this point we will do the lead isolation check, and from here we have all leads to ground at 0.1. We have the RA to LL, which is 0 leakage. LA, we have 2.4. And we have LA of 0.1. Now the total should be less than 20 microamps. So we are well in range there. Now we're doing the rate calibration procedures. We are going to use the safety analyzer for this. It should be 60 beats per minute, which we have this set at. We're in the ECG performance. And it should be plus or minus 5. So we are at 60, so we are good there. And now we're going to do it at 120. Now we are at right at 120, and again it's plus or minus 5. Checking the alarm, we are going to set the alarm high rate at 115. So we check that. So now we're going to set this at 120, and it should go off when it hits. There's one. For checking the low rate alarm, we are going to set this to 65, and we will change the simulator to 60. So when it hits 60, it should alarm. Doing the pace analyzer checks, we first have to take the ECG leads and hook them to the simulator. We have to set the defibrillator in pacer mode, and when we set this up here and be in the normal sinus rhythm, we should be reading about 72 beats per minute, which it is. Okay, our first step then is to set this to asystole. We're going to change the pacer output to 40 milliamps. And the pacer rate to 60 ppm. At this point, we're not seeing the pulse, we are only seeing the pace. As we set the pacer output to 50 milliamps, now we'll get the pacer pulse and the pulse capture. So after that, our next step is to go back to the normal sinus rhythm, and we need to be 60 milliamps and 60 ppm. Okay, now we're only getting the pulse capture. Okay, now we need to bring the ppm to 80. Now we're getting the pacer and pulse capture. Now we're going to check the defibrillator analyzer. First we go back, well, we are still in normal sinus rhythm. We are going to go to defib, and we're going to charge, or analyze, I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to analyze the ECG form, and it will tell us whether a shock is advised. At this point, with the settings there, is no shock advised. Now we will go to systole, basically a flat line. We're still defib. Now we're going to analyze. And again, no shock advised. We are on a flat line there. Now we're going to set this to ventricle fibrillation. And we'll analyze again. And this is saying a shock is advised, so we will. Now this will tell you the defib has just charged and the light was on. Okay, next we need to charge this to 200 joules, and we will charge it and test it again. Now you'll see the light come on, showing that it was discharged for 200 joules. That's it.